uh, podcast. Hello guys. It's another wonderful day, another beautiful day on the show, Hidden Secrets in Books. And you guys know we do it here strictly on premium guests. I usually tell you guys that we go out there and sort out for the best guests to bring on the show. Yeah. And today we have Kerie Logan. Kerie, welcome to my show. All right. Kerry has helped people all over the globe live better lives and lives that they love. That is what she basically do. So she's an award-winning author and a human consciousness guide. She has been an empowerment strategist for over 20 years. Yes, over 20 years. That's a huge one. 2 decades. In 2004, she was awarded Best Coach of the Year at the PCH Yearly Convention. She has been voted the best hypnotherapist in my area for the past 15 consecutive years. She's also a spiritual advisor, blogger, and podcaster. So that's basically the info we have for our guests. So thank you so much, Kerry, for coming to our show. All right. I want you to talk about your book, an award-winning author. People will be wondering what's the name of her book. Let them know the particular book you won an award for.
Recently published it just a couple of months ago. And the title of the book is called Becoming a Divine Messiah, The Day of Becoming and Remembrance. It's book one, New Earth Golden Age Trilogy. And the way that the book is written is it's very similar to what the book that was written called Celestine Prophecies. It's a fictional book and it's set in the future on this new earth where there's no more war, violence, crime. There's not even money because we realize money was the biggest root that made humans struggle the most. It created separation and it kept people always thriving to become something that really their soul did not have that path or wanted that. And so it's all about this new earth that has been prophesied, where people have a higher level of consciousness. There is cooperation, there is community, there is oneness, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, kindness. People are not seen as disposable. Everybody serves a purpose. Everybody. And everyone that's read it has literally said, even after reading the book, it stayed with me much longer after it, because everyone that has read the book or I've talked about the book is like, I want to live in a world like that, where you are gifted a house, you have all your basic survival needs met, and your soul and you get to actually live a life that you love. It's not conditional anymore. You're not required to jump through any hoops. And people live in happiness and harmony and they're satisfied, satisfied with life. So based on the title, Becoming a Divine Messiah, it's about you becoming the best version of yourself, you discovering what your soul is here to, let's say, learn and experience on earth, because earth actually is a school for humans. We're a soul having a human experience. And so maybe in this lifetime, you want to experience a deep love for music or arts or writing or some kind of sports or anything that you really feel that calling for you, that passion within you. It allows you to have that happen without anyone stopping you or blaming you or preventing you or being jealous or envious. There's none of that. And it really makes people think. That's the best way I can explain it. And when I learned about the title of the book back in 2023, when I had a major spiritual awakening, and I kept wondering, well, when am I going to write it? When am I going to write it? When? And then all of a sudden, one day, this might sound strange to some of your listeners, but Archangel Metatron came to me and said, and filled my bedroom with light, literally filled it with light and said, you're ready now to write the book. And here is the storyline. Here are the characters. This is how you're going to write it. And sit down in front of your computer and just start typing. And so that happened in November of 2025. And then in March is when I published it. And that's considered a lot of information, because in the book, it's got a total of, oh my God, I think like 380 pages. I mean, that's a lot of like channeling. I don't know if your listeners know what that is, but it was like a heavenly power coming through me saying, here's the story you're going to write. And it showed me some of the scenes like a movie playing in my mind. And then I would describe what I saw, describe the characters. It was almost like I was watching a movie in action playing. It was quite profound and quite remarkable. And there was one time in, I think it was February, I got sick, a cold or something. And a lot of my friends that were helping me edit the book, I felt a bit of pressure, like, when's it going to be done? When's it going to be done? And that's when Metatron came to me again and said, I want you to research Enoch. And I had no idea who Enoch is, because I'm not a religious person. I've never read the Bible, just all spiritual. But I ended up discovering that Enoch was a human that walked on earth, and the watchers of earth came down, the angelic watchers of earth came down and spoke to him and wanted him to write his own story, his own book of what he observed, very similar to what Metatron has asked me. And what's fascinating about Enoch is he is the first known human to be transformed into an archangel. And you'll learn about that in the very last few chapters of my book.
All right. Thank you so much, Kerry. So, in your book, there are some parts of your book that when you are writing, you have your readers in mind. You want your readers to get this part of your book. What are those parts, those, what I call them, secrets you have abandoned in your book that you want listeners or the readers to catch and not miss?
So a lot of people have heard about the ascension process. And the ascension process, if you have a spiritual, background or spiritual calling, the ascension process is where the 3D timeline is ending and the 4D timeline will be the dominant force on this earth. So for thousands of years, we have been in this 3D timeline. And every time that, as you know, like the Romans and the Atlanteans and Egypt, when they got too big into power and too corrupt, they fell. They completely fell from, let's say, grace. They fell from power. And what's happening now is our Creator is basically saying, that's it, that's enough. And Jesus actually has prophesied, and many others have prophesied, that there will be a time where there'll be like 1,000 years of peace. It's like the meek will inherit the earth. And what all of that means is this new timeline, because we live in a parallel universe with multiple timelines. And so what's so important is, if you find yourself stuck on that 3D timeline, and there actually is a chart in the book that shows you the difference between 3D, 4D, and 5D, those different timelines. If you're in that area, you really need to work on changing your thoughts, changing your behaviors, changing the way you respond and react to different things. Because if you keep coming from a state of fear or guilt or depression or anger or vanity or self-righteousness, that is all 3D behaviors and traits. And that timeline is going to end. And what was very fascinating, and it's in the book, is, like I said earlier, I don't have a religious background, but when I had my spiritual awakening in 2023, God came to me and spoke to me and showed me 2 books, and I didn't know what it was until I had to ask someone that had a religious background, because I'm like, I am so confused here. But I was shown the Lamb's Book of Life, and then I was shown this black book. And when I asked, well, what is the Lamb's Book of Life? And the book that I was shown was everybody that achieved 40 human consciousness, where they were kind and cooperative, they were optimistic, they were adaptable, they accepted people for who they are, they were a forgiving kind of person, and they were a courageous person, in a nice, decent way. Those people would go in that book. They would go in the Lamb's Book of Life. Now, the people that were stuck in hate, anger, fear, judgment, blame, victimhood, all those really not so nice ways of treating one another. They were stuck in separation. They were stuck in money, power, greed, all of that. They would end up in that black book. And what God said to me is, those people will not come to earth again. They will go somewhere else because the timeline has split. And as of 2000, all the people that are being born, their souls are ready for this advancement. They've had enough of the judgment, the inadequacy, the helplessness. They want this new world. They want a world of peace, love, and cooperation. No more war, no more violence, no more crimes, no more just scraping by to survive and just existing. We want harmony. And so I was very fascinated when I got that information, because I didn't know, I never knew about the Lamb's Book of Life or any of this. So it was kind of validating to hear it from other people how, yes, it has been prophesied.
All right. So, what are the challenges that you encountered while writing this book?
The challenges that I faced was just that time when I got sick, and I felt, the peer pressure to get the book done, because the people that were reading it was like, oh my God, I love this. This is such amazing information. That was the only real challenge I really faced, because I didn't know why, but I needed that break. And I needed that time to, one, recuperate, and then two, to gather that information about Enoch. And then once,
All right. Thank you
I
so
felt
much.
better, they, came to me again and said, okay, now you can complete your book. So that was the only area that I really, I would say struggled, because it just, all the information just flowed and flowed and flowed. And it was just beautiful. It was amazing. I mean, a lot of people that have done reviews on it have said it's way different than any other book they've read. There is about healing trauma. There's about your shadow self. There's looking at your identity. There's so many different areas that it covers. And a lot of people have said, I've never read a book like that before.
All right, Kerry. So, Kerry. So, what is the one core message that you have registered in this book that you would want the readers to take away?
Talk about generational trauma. I talk about their, about self-healing and how people view things differently. There's psychology in there. There's I break down, trauma and trauma bonding relationships in there. It's woven so well, all the information, that it really does make you think. It makes you pause, and it makes you stop, and it makes you self-reflect. And I've been told not many books do that. I mean, I've had some people say that even some self-help books aren't as good as this one. And it's not designed to be a self-help book. It's not designed to be just a spiritual book. It's designed and written to be a book to make you think and make you desire to live a better life and to thrive instead of just exist.
Kerry, so if there's one message you want readers and listeners to get from this conversation and from your book, what would that be?
We are to be to one another. We're not designed to be that way. And somehow we ended up getting that way because we were lied to. We were indoctrinated into a system and a structure that was built to create separation, where some people get wealthy and some people stay stuck in poverty. And so the book is to really remember that you matter, you're important, you serve a purpose. And it's to really honor your higher self and to believe that you have potential within you. And whatever your situation is, it is not permanent. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. And so every day is a new opportunity of you becoming the best version of you, one day and one step at a time. It's not a quantum leap. It's something that is gradual, and we have to show ourselves grace and compassion as well as others. So that's the most important thing I would like people to take away from this book is you are becoming. You're not broken. Nobody is.
Hi, Kerry. Thank you so much for coming to my show. And I believe your book, how can people get your book and know more
My
about it?
Yes, you can go to mastertheupperrooms.com. You can also go to Amazon and you can get it on Amazon as well. So those are two places. And if you want some free meditations or listen to my podcast that I did that actually got an award this year, which I'm very excited, that is on my YouTube channel, which is called Empowered Within. And there's lots of stuff on there about how to forgive the unforgivable, grace through acceptance, healing happens in layers. So there's lots of information on there to help people that are dealing with toxic people or dysfunctional or narcissistic people to help them view their perspective and thrive.
Hi, Kerry. Thank you so much for coming to my show and for sharing your perspective with my audience. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye.